Welcome back everyone to the channel. I hope you're well. In this video I'm going to show you how you can take a rubbish light setup like this and with only a couple of lights turn it into something like this. Now this light setup has been created using two lights only, and they're relatively cheap and they're relatively small. And the whole idea behind this light setup is I want something compact, easy to move around and very portable. Now we're actually here in my home office, not in the studio where I do a lot of photo shoots and video work. We're actually in the home office, and the idea behind this light setup is it's going to be most likely the setup that I use now for the majority of my videos, where I'm actually doing talking head stuff like this, talking about equipment and so forth. And I want something that I can use over and over again, so it needs to be light and simple, and when I'm finished with it I just want to be able to move it out of the way and it not take up much room. Now the key light is an Aputure LS half W. This on its own is a hard light source, so we need to make it soft and we need to make it a little bit more flattering. Now rather than using big octaboxes and soft boxes and lots of diffusion material hanging in front of the light, I'm just going with a really simple setup, and that is nothing more than a reflective umbrella. Now the benefit of using an umbrella like this is they fold down, they're really cheap, lightweight and very easy to transport. This has the silver inside, which is more reflective than the white. The light is bouncing into the silver umbrella, which is then reflecting back through the diffusion material. It's obviously creating a larger light source. The diffusion material is softening and cutting down the light intensity a little bit as well. The light is approximately 45 degrees off to the side of the camera, and the middle of the light is a little bit higher than eye level, and the bottom of the light is just under chin level, and I find that orientation, that position tends to give a really nice light, and it also creates a wonderful catch light in the corner of the eye. Sometimes you see the catch light's a little bit lower or it's too high and you don't actually see it in the eye as well, but I find this kind of position works really well. 45 degrees off, middle of the light above eye level, bottom of the light just below chin level, and it just tends to work really well. I've also got the light slightly feathered off. The middle of the light is not pointing directly at me. In fact, the middle of the light is pointing away from me and it's actually going out in front. So I'm getting a softer light again from the edges of the light. This is called feathering the light. Now the Aputure half W is sat on an umbrella bracket, and this umbrella bracket has a little hole in it which allows you to put the umbrella rod all the way through. Now the Aputure half W is running right now at about 57% power, so it's still got a lot of kick in it, and I'm running it on a V-mount, which makes it again really portable. The actual light stand is a very small Cooper light stand. They're actually used as background light stands for smaller fixtures. The actual spread of the legs are really small as well. It doesn't leave a big footprint, so I've got that sandbag down, and the Aputure half W with the V-mount is also weighing down the light stand. So it's actually a very solid fixture now, and it's not really going to move anywhere. Now my second light source is a kicker light. You can see this little edge light here, and that is a FalconEyes F7 small RGB pocket light essentially. It's not really that much bigger than an iPhone, and the nice thing about this light, it's lightweight, it's got its own battery built in. Right now I've got the temperature set around about 9,000, which is giving me a very cool light, and the reason why I'm going with that is I'm trying to match the light color of the practicals in the back. And what we mean by practicals are like atmospheric lights, lights in the background, lights in the environment. There could be lamps, there could be a TV, etc. And what I've got in my office are these very cheap LED strip lights, which I've put on the shelves where I've got gear and so forth stored, and I've got those set to white, which is not an actual pure white, it's got a blue tint to it. Hence why the FalconEyes F7, I've also added a slightly cooler tint to it. So we're trying to give the impression that this little kicker light here is coming from the practicals, where in reality they're nowhere near powerful enough. They're actually coming from the FalconEyes. Now the FalconEyes is powerful enough, that's only at 10% right now, and it's super bright. It's a hard light source, great for kicker lights and hair lights and things like that. It's also got a magnetic back, which allows you to obviously mount it onto metal surfaces. For audio, I've got a cheap Trackstar microphone. Again, it's not like my NTG3 or my Roland R26 sound recorder. It's just a very simple basic setup running straight into the camera here, using an extended wire. and I've got that set to plus dB on the microphone, so I've turned down the internal audio on the camera, and hopefully the audio sounds pretty good. I've got it mounted to a tripod as well, a very cheap tripod, a Velbon EX540, which I've had knocking around, and it allows me to bring it in quite close. I can raise it, I can lower it, I can tilt it, I can move it around. And again, for something like this, I don't need a big boom stand and so forth. I can just move the tripod away to the side, and it's fit for purpose. It does the job. Now, in terms of the camera, I'm shooting on the Sony A73 with the 50mm 1.8 FE Sony lens, and it's a lovely little combination. It works well. I'm shooting in Slog 3. I love Slog 3. I've been using it more and more, and I've got it in a small rig cage with a small HD monitor, and that's obviously there just to allow me to see what's going on. Hopefully the face tracking is working really well, and with the native lenses it does tend to work a little bit better than when I've been using it with the Metabones, but even still it's a fantastic little setup. So hopefully that would have pulled back into focus and it has recognized my face. Now the Sony is on my Manfrotto B3 Live with the video tripod, which takes 701 plates from Manfrotto. Again, very simple, small, lightweight tripod, and had it for a while now, and it's done me really well. So this is it. It's a very simple light setup. One main light with a cheap umbrella, cheap diffusion material on a very cheap light stand with a portable V-mount battery in order for us to take it wherever we want and not have to worry about mains power. The kicker light, a single FalconEyes F7 RGB video pocket light, which is set to 8000, and then everything else is just practical LED lights. Before we set up this light, we just had the overhead light, which was pretty rubbish. Let's head over to the PC and go through the editing process. I'm going to show you how I take Slog 3 and get it into something that just looks good, and we'll also use Film Convert, which is a really awesome plugin, and yeah, let's do it.
This is the process. We're going to change the input LUT to Slog 3 to Rec 709 Type A. That's going to get us right there. The next thing, I will apply Film Convert, and I'm using the KD S207 VIS3, and that's set at 70%, and I've added a grain of 25%, and that literally is it. I'll just show you some of the other clips here from the shot, the video. There we go. And if we look at the before and the after, that's without Film Convert and that's without the LUT applied. Simple and effective. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.